Hello, welcome to Plumbing College. Today's session is on installing bonding clamps onto pipework. This will be taught by Brian the electrician.
The plumber is replaced with plastic. This has caused electrical earthing problem. So what we need to do is put a bonding link across. Right, you're going to place the clip this way around. So the bonding link is going to go across. We're going to tuck that tongue inside there and pull this as tight as we can get it. And you hold this tight and we do the screw up. Make sure the back nut is backed right off. Once you've done that up tight, that is on there, we can put this label on at the end to explaining what this is about. We need to do the same the other end. Exactly the same process, but if you notice, they are opposite way around. Pull it tight and do the screw up. Now we've done the screw up, we have to do the backing nut off to hold it in position. Adjust your small adjustable spanner to do the nut up. It can be fiddly. Same the other end, just make sure you've adjusted it correctly. This prevents the clip coming undone due to vibration. Next thing we've got to do is to place a bonding link across there. The only size I have available is 10mm, but 4mm cross-sectional area would be the correct size. Now to strip this it's not easy. I will show you how to use a knife. It may look dangerous, but you cannot cut yourself if you follow the process correctly. Thumb goes there, the blade goes the other side. Do not use a Stanley knife. This is a proper electrician's knife. Run the knife round. Until you can feel it touching the copper. And then you need to slice it off. Use a pair of pliers. Depending how cold this is, how difficult it's going to be. You may need a little bit more on the knife. And it should come off cleanly, as you can see. We're going to put this crimp on, but we need to adjust it so the insulation is right up to the end of the crimp. It's always worth taking a bit more off than necessary and cutting to fit. We're just going to check and see if this is correct. As you can see, it's going to go on. You have to adjust or select the correct size on the crimper. Here you can see it tells you the size. Okay. This is a ratchet crimper, so therefore it adjusts the correct tension. The small hand crimpers are not recommended because you cannot get the tension correct. And just crimp it a little bit till it holds the crimp. And then push from the other side and go right the way down. And then check it's actually crimped. You can see the crimp there, it's actually made the crimp and it does not come off because it's displaced the stranded wires inside. So we're going to measure for the crimp to go across the pipe. You can see it's going to go across there, so we need to cut this about there. So we use a pair of pliers. Right, so we're going to measure where this has got to go. You place the crimp on there and you can see where I got to strip the PVC off from. Yeah. Again, use the same process. Put your thumb the other side. Again, stress, do not use a Stanley knife, a proper electrician's knife. Run the blade round and you cannot cut yourself if you follow the process. Because you've got a free end, it's easier this time just to turn the cable. And again, use the blade and you can see it's come off nicely. We're just going to check the distance is correct and put the other crimp on. Again, we're going to adjust the copper accordingly. Use your finger as a guide to see how far you need to go in. And we're going to place the crimp on. Right, before we crimp it, we're just going to check it's correct. It may need adjusting, or we could put a slight little bend in it. So if we put a little bend in it, then it means the plumber can get access to his pipe, if necessary. So now we're going to crimp this end on, exactly the same as before. Slightly too much copper showing there, so we're going to trim a piece off. You can see the difference. Again, we're going to use the right part of the crimper. It's clearly marked there, what size the crimp needs to be. Place the cable and the crimp. Just go down gently, couple of clicks. Make sure you line this up so it crimps it nicely, and then carry on crimping down. And again, give it a little pull test. Undo these screws. We're just going to do this up loosely to start with. The washer has got two sides, a flat side and a curved side. So the flat side must go on top, not the curved side. So we're going to place that into the termination. Just do it up gently with your fingers. Now before we tighten it down, there's a process we have to go through. You need to hold this connection, these little horseshoe bits.
Yeah, got you.
Make sure the screwdriver you're using is an adequate size. Same the other end. If you don't do this, when you try and do this screw up, it will pull one of the horseshoe lugs away. There are other types of earth clamps out there. Now we've contacted the earth continuity, so the electrical earthing is correct. We just need to place some labels on. Because we've got a spare tongue, this is a process you can do to put these on. You can put that through there, like that. Make sure you put that one through there. And you can see the label is clearly readable. Then what you can do, you can bend the tongue over and use a pair of pliers so it cannot be removed. So the same process, hook it through. Again, you can bend it over with your fingers and just crimp it up with the pliers. So the label is on there, so it cannot be removed easily. That now restores the earth continuity, so there is no danger for the customer on any of the appliances they're using. So you're going to strip the cable to a reasonable length, and then we're going to twist this clockwise. The reason we're going to do this, because we do not have a crimping tool, which is specialized for electricians. Plumbers may not have these, but plumbers would also have a small adjustable, pliers, and a screwdriver. And that will be sufficient to do this with this typical type of bonding clamp. So first of all, we twist this clockwise. Now this takes a bit of time. If you do it gently, and if you've done this correctly, what you'll see, even twist. And that bit is important to see the even twist in this. Right, if you look carefully, you can see the center conductor looks like it's got larger, but it hasn't. Because these are odd number of conductors in our cables. Because we've twisted, it looks like it's extended. That tells you that you've twisted it correctly. So now we've got to adjust this to go onto this earthing clip. As you can see, we've got a large screw underneath here, so we can make like an hook to go underneath, but it has to go on the correct way around, which is clockwise. So we're going to cut this to size, and we are going to bend this round. This is small cable, so you can bend it with your fingers. Yeah, we need a pair of side cuts now. So we've made like a horseshoe, if you like, and then this is going to go round this conductor. But it's important to get it the correct way round. It has to go clockwise. If you do it anti-clockwise, as you do the screw up, it would push the conductor out. So now we've removed the screw fully, and I said we've got to put this on from that side, so as the screw does up, it pulls the cable in. If we'd have put it on this side, as we do the screw up in there, it will push the cable out. So that goes onto there, and we need to check that the cable is underneath the screw. It is a bit fiddly, but I'm sure you'll get there. You can see this is the correct way round. Before you tighten this up, there's a little trick you have to do. So when that starts to bite, you get your pliers and hold your pliers on those two bits there. So as you tighten it up, it won't try and move. And you can see the conductor's on, insulation's not under the crimp, and it's bent round perfectly. Next thing we do is to put the clip on correctly. So now we tighten this up. This time we're going to put the cable, the label over the connection. So we're just going to nip this up with a small pair of adjustables, or you may have a small spanner. Where are you going to nip that up? So we just get it straight, and that's the job done. Now to remove it, it's virtually the reverse operation. So we slacken off the nut. Once we've done that, we can move the label round, move it out the way. We can undo this connection, take this fully right off. So that's our cable disconnected. Now we can undo the screw. Now to remove the clip, they can be a bit tricky. So you need a screwdriver with no insulation on, otherwise you'll damage the insulation. And you need to put it into the opposite side and just pull that through. And watch your fingers, because these can be very sharp, and you can remove the clip. It may fall apart, but that's not to worry.
Now you know how to install bonding clamps. It's your turn to have a go.